get to that, let's head over to the analyst desk to talk about CLG's win over the defending world champs.
Oh my goodness, quick shot. You should have seen everyone jumping around and screaming here on the desk. At the beginning of the day, we had said, CLG, they lost to Supermassive. They're playing Supermassive again today. They're going to take the fight to them. No, they didn't wait for the Supermassive game. They came and took the fight to SKT of all teams. I do want to jump into the last fight of the game. I want to rewatch it. Kobe, I want you to walk us through it. Let's watch that before we go into the analytical
Stop screaming, man.
Yeah, I mean, there was so much that went.
That was a quick fight.
Replay of that pillar right there.
There it is.
That's how strong North America is. They're holding up the stadium right now. Honestly, yeah. Hey, we're in the same club now. We both beat SKT.
Man.
All right, Deficio
sorry,
over
Deficio.
here. I don't know about him, but honestly, yeah. This game, since we don't have the replay though, this game, CLG was behind a little bit the entire game. Okay, never mind. Well, let's jump into this replay because this is the late game where CLG have thrived on their shot calling, and they had to force this because SKT were going on the Nexus turrets. They forced again this Baron. They're going to get the smite with both Stixxay and Smithy on it, and then Stixxay again. He's consistently going so aggressive. This time, Faker finally finds him and gets that assassination. But the Azir and Janna, CLG draft these two defensive really big ultimates that they're able to use to keep Huhi alive this time. They've got two late game damage threats, and they're able to pin Faker against that wall with the pink ward to take him out. Bang also arcane shifted into the Baron pit, and they took him out right after Stixxay went down.
Two other things as well. Duke was debating, should I go back and get home guard, should I try and finish? He actually comes in extremely late with the teleport right there. Dashawn is instantly in there, and he also stuns the Kindred into wall. No ulti from Blank because Dashawn ulted him himself and knocked him into the wall.
A lifetime of split pushing is the experience that Darshan has. Literally, that's his League of Legends play for 5 years.
Yeah, very much
so. He was instant on coming in.
I just want to make a quick note. We will be talking to Afromu and Huhi in just a moment, but we're going to continue to break down this game. Now it's time to take it all the way back to Champions League and work our way to that final fight because that was a long game, and it took a while for CLG to get into the position to win a fight like that. So, Clemens, start me off. Champion select here, that Nidalee first pick. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, the Nidalee first pick hasn't really worked in this tournament. When we're seeing traded with Kindred, Kindred is actually 7-2 now in this tournament, so Kindred is it's a much better pick. And also the blind Azir into Faker LeBlanc. I thought that was super risky. So coming into the ban pick, I thought SKT actually had an edge. But really, over the game, we saw LeBlanc ganking more with teleport, and that really let Huhi back into the game a little bit.
Yeah. There are quite some few things with their Nidalee. I'm glad we both agreed.
Yeah, the Nidalee, because the Nidalee is tied to the Poppy pick, right? Those are two picks that we kind of had a thing with where there's a... they used to be the same tier. It's Nidalee and Kindred and Poppy and Echo. But the nerfs to Poppy were more significant than the nerfs to Echo. And because they spend their first pick on Nidalee, it ties them into having to take that Poppy into Echo matchup, which was problematic as well.
It's just, first of all, dynamic in champ select. When you first pick Nidalee, your first pick is meant to be something where not only do you want to steal something away from the other team, you also want to secure the best available pick for yourself. Problem is, when they first pick Nidalee, you actually don't really take anything from SKT because they'd rather play Kindred after losing with Nidalee twice yesterday, and you also give the superior matchup to of course, Duke in the top lane, and he won that matchup. Same thing also when you have Nidalee Poppy. The problem is when you have Nidalee Poppy, Nidalee can only play bot side because Poppy will lose the matchup to the Echo 1v1, so you cannot play top side invades because Echo will just walk down behind and kill you. So you basically share farm now with the enemy jungler, which is a Devour jungler who wants to farm up that Devour very easily. Nidalee wants to invade, and that's why she doesn't have impact in the early game when she's picked in these compositions, because people keep picking her with Poppy, who's losing lane to Echo.
Yeah.
Okay, so this transitions to the point that I was talking about earlier. The entire game, 30 minutes of CLG being slightly behind this game because SKT, they won every single lane in CS. They had gold leads just from CS. There were no turrets taken. They earned them all themselves. Plus, they actually had a gold lead in the jungle as well over Nidalee, which is extremely rare. And due to the things that Deficio was just talking about, and it came down to CLG holding on for so long with this slight disadvantage, giving away all of the dragons, literally all of the dragons.
Every single one.
Focusing so heavily on Baron vision and holding on with their team fight comp. the big thing that everyone criticized North America for is their support picks were so different from everyone else. And everyone was like, they're garbage. North America, stupid region. They don't know what they're doing. They're always playing these range supports. But the defensive Janna plus Azir combo kept the backline safe in so many of these team fights
situations.
with these shields. Oh my goodness, it was so close to taking
Clement,
out
I want to
Stixxay.
come to you. Yeah, talking about Stixxay. Kobe finishes it off right there, but I want to talk about Stixxay because at the beginning of the day, you were saying we came into this tournament with question marks for CLG, Huhi, and Stixxay. Stixxay coming up real big in that game.
Exactly. If we're talking about like the Baron bait, I actually thought that was a bit detrimental to CLG because they were going around the Baron a lot when LeBlanc was in the bot lane, but that's when SKT actually overtook the CS lead. You really saw them snowballing with their 1-3-1, and Darshan was, Duke was up 80 CS at some points. The really turning point in the fight was when Bang went over the wall to try to catch Hui, and 2 heals came down. CLG wiped a 5K deficit,
to be
they
fair,
were on the offensive from there.
SKT had a composition that was not built to run into teamfights over and over. The reason some people don't like Janna as a support is she cannot force anything. She's only good in teamfights itself and then the laning phase. So when you pick teleport mid for Faker, you want to play 1-3-1 and you want to play around Azir and Janna. And they didn't. They walked straight into it.
I'm sorry, Kobe. I know you want to get in. There's so much to say. There's so much to say about this game, but we're not the only ones who have stuff to say about it. It's time now to send it down to Shox, who's joined by a couple of North America's victorious CLG.
Yeah, well, I love to hear you guys talk, but I love to hear these guys talk even more. Huhi and Afromu, after taking down SK Telecom here at MSI, I got to start with the end of that game because it was incredibly close if we heard these guys explaining. Then it turned down to that Baron call. Stixxay died, and he had been your carry for the most part of that game. Huhi, talk me through what happened in the end phases of that.
In the most of the team fight, like we were trying to help Trevor so we were using like all the abilities to pill for him. But like suddenly Trevor died, so like everyone was talking about play with Azir, protect him, and then like they were like all pilling for me. So and Darshan has some great W on LeBlanc and stopped his damage and stunned him. And like we had late game Azir, which is pretty easy to play, and they poked them. So yeah, it was pretty.
Afromu, we heard Kobe there as well, touching on the fact those ranged supports in NA. But tell me how Janna proved to be so incredibly important in this matchup in those fights.
Well, range supports aren't as bad as people make them out to be. I think the West, mainly Adrian, Matt, and myself, comes off the top of my head, do play the range supports. They definitely have their place in the meta. And this game specifically, they had Braum, LeBlanc, Echo, Janna can stop through those three pretty easily. And Braum shield actually takes the tornado as well. So it's kind of a counter, but not really. But playing with Lucian in Azir, it's really easy for Janna to manipulate the fight and control it as a control support.
Yeah.
And that's what we went for. We knew they were going to 1-3-1, but even though their 1-3-1 had a lot of dashes and assassin-type champions, they couldn't really do anything versus a Janna. And we knew that going into the late game, we would be able to win that way, even though we got behind early.
Well, I love that you talk about just the champions of LeBlanc, the Echo, the Braum, and about Juke, Faker, because one thing I took away from your interviews beforehand was, I think it was you even after that said, you can't go in, or maybe Darshan, you can't go into these games being afraid of your opponent. You have to be respectful. Is that what in the end now helped you in this game versus SKT, knowing that you could take them but staying respectful?
We definitely like respect them because they're like 2 times world champion, and then they're a really, really good team. But we always knew that we could be the best as well. So coming to this tournament, like we had the motto like fear none but respect all. So yesterday it kind of went off, but today we just like had a new mindset, and then we talked about as a team again for like 1 hour again. So yeah. We weren't afraid at all.
In some way, did you maybe need that loss yesterday versus Supermassive to kind of reinforce what you'd set for yourself in the tournament?
Losing definitely hurts,
yeah.
But all the teams here are the best in their region, so there's no reason to not respect them. And I thought they played actually really well yesterday. Their bot lane is pretty good. I would rank them top 3 bottom lanes here at the tournament right now. So we just got outplayed yesterday.
All right, just a couple of more questions. Huhi, of course, a lot of focus is on you and Stixxay as the new players coming in and that international experience. There's been a lot of criticism as well. How do you think you have done so far?
So far, I was laning pretty well, I'll say. Well, I'll say my team fights or the mid game was pretty off because I don't know, like they had really good synergy on mid jungle, and then I'll not say that me and Jake, me and Xmidi got there yet. So it's kind of getting off in the mid game and late game. But in laning phase, I'm pretty confident that I can beat them.
Hey, you guys beat SKT with Faker. You were alluding to it. If anything, you guys at least did that afro. That's a big feat. We also have a little bit of a replay here of your celebration after the game. We're going to get that up on the screen.
Oh my God. Holy. Oh,
it's
the
slow-mo.
Let's go.
And you can see the shirts very well as well. All right, can you teach me how you do that?
Oh, the fake high five into the dab. Do you know what the dab is?
No, please teach me.
Okay, well, here, hold my microphone. Well, the dab is basically, you know, the Draven pose where you go like this, right? But you're gonna put your head down like that. And so essentially we can do it. I'll stand up.
All right.
You can go for the high five. So you fake the high five into the dabs.
Well, that's a first.
Holy.
On a more serious note, though, looking ahead, obviously, great start, then that supermassive loss, a bit of inconsistency there. You said in the beginning, the first time I talked to you, I'm surprised at how the supports here and the teams in general, when they decide to go, they go. They don't wait 1 second. How are you adjusting to that, and how far do you think you can go if you adjust to that correctly?
Well, I would say playing against these supports that have the go button is refreshing because I know that what my limits are, essentially. Normally in North America, I can push the limit even a little bit more because I know that they won't punish me for overextending or something like that. But at this tournament, it's definitely a good indicator of what my skill level is like versus these supports, and I think I'm going to take that as a challenge. I already am for this tournament, and it's really fun to play against them.
Yeah, Huhi, maybe finally expectations still for this tournament. After yesterday, you might have been somber, but now you beat the world champion. Stixxay said top 2 a couple of days ago. Where do you find yourself? Do you think you will?
I'll say we can 100% go top 3, and it doesn't really, like, we don't really care how, like, which place we are as long as we get out of the group stage, because we're going to prove that we're going to be the best team in the group, in the playoffs.
Yeah, finally, you said it was very important to show that NA was not just another region. With this win versus SKT, do you feel like you've done that a bit?
Kind of a little bit. We've shown that we can beat SKT. That's good, but these are group stages, so they're best of ones, and I think the best of 5 playoffs will definitely show a lot more. But if we can show that we can beat them in the group stages, that means that we have a big morale boost, confidence boost, that we can win the whole tournament.
Yeah, just fantastic performance overall from you guys. Congratulations. CLG taking down the world champion. Unbelievable almost. We're going to take a quick break. We need it after that here at MSI 2016. But when we come back, G2 Esports takes on Supermassive. So don't go anywhere.
Did you guys watch The Jungle Book?
Yeah. No.
Oh yeah, me and Zach went. Dude, the thing I actually loved about that movie is like the little speech or whatever. When they say that the wolf is as strong as the pack and the pack is as strong as the wolf.
Safety.
Dude, that meant something to me, dude.
Here comes Blank. There's more people at the party. Doshan's not done. Yes, he is. Faker gets the kill.
I got it. Let's go. I'm gonna E ulti. No. This one. Nice. I can go in 2 seconds.
Bang stays alive. The unbreakable will break. It's a double, a triple for Stixxay.
Get out, Kindred. Take it. Turn. Nice. I'm stunned. We're fine. I exhausted LeBlanc. LeBlanc is down. Nice. I'm hitting prom. Come on. I got it. Nice. Come here. Group up. We have to base together.
Stixxay's on the front line. Flashes. He's down. There's no more damage from CLG, but Huhi's the one that has to do it. He's being jumped on by Duke. They've managed to kill Bang. Both ADCs are dead, and CLG in a numbers advantage. They're looking for Faker. They've got him. And Counter Logic Gaming scoring magnificent win for America.